Today, we're going to be talking about how understanding your purpose can change your life. All right, folks, people always talk about find your purpose, find your purpose. But what I say is that you are developing it. Do you know that your purpose is being developed right now? It's not something that happens overnight. Isn't that amazing, Jen? Have you ever thought about that? Like that whole saying or idiom, find your purpose?
It's not. Oh gosh. You hear that all the time. You hear that, find it. And I think one of the challenges is like, well, how do I find it? And this is why I love what you said. It's about developing it because your experiences, the things that you go through life, the life challenges and things that are thrown at you, you grow from all that. And all those things that are happening to and for you are going to affect how you continuously develop your purpose. Because how many of us know people who either have been in a job or a situation for so many years, and then it's a total like 180, right? And then they go to a completely different field. They find like, hey, I'm going to go backpacking through Europe, or hey, I'm going to teach yoga in Bali. So it's whatever it is, it's this continuous journey, this continuous development. And it takes that journey in order to find it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm trying to change the whole kind of dialogue here from finding to developing. And it's not, as you said, not something that happens overnight. It's something that's been in you and cultivating for years. But what's happened is you might not have necessarily defined it yet.
Yeah.
And yet it's something that you're so excited about. Have you ever been in a situation where you're like, oh my God, this is it. This is so exciting. I just love what this person has to say. I feel this. It's in my soul. I know this
every day.
That's true. That's true. Jenna's like that. She's like, yes!
Every day. Oh God. So excited. Yes. Every day.
Yeah. So it's like that. It's something that's already brewing in you. It's something that you're excited about. It's part of your subconsciousness, right? It's something that's there. It's something that's driving you. So these are the things that I'm talking about in regards to it's already in development. It's amazing. It's kind of like that show, right? That you're looking at, that you watch every week, and they're already producing stuff. Like that's exactly what you're doing inside your mind, inside your body, through your experiences. You're producing this passion. It is there.
Yeah.
So it's and it's something that's been a part of you. It's something that's organic to you and something that you are excited about learning more about, if that makes sense.
Yes. I love this idea of developing because I know one of the things that we've been trained since childhood is that we're taught that things need to be a linear path. Oh, you have to be this way. You're growing up. Okay. Then you go to school. Okay. And then you're supposed to go to college. And then, okay. Then you get married and then you have kids, you buy a house, blah, 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 right? It seems to be this linear path that we've been ingrained with, right?
Yes.
But what I've noticed as I've been even developing my own purpose, and that's changed like over the decades, is that it is not linear.
Yeah.
Trust me, that timeline for me is all mixed up. Everything was backwards and mixed matched and whatnot. And here's the biggest thing I could share when it comes to finding and developing your purpose. Be open-minded. If we can release the need for everything to follow the numbers and color within the lines and everything, I think that when you allow that creativity into your life and into the space that you're in, you will reach that understanding of where you're supposed to be. What is it that you're meant to do? But if you're allowing yourself to stay so rigid in this, I'm supposed to be doing this because that's what I wanted to do since I was 4. And there are people who have that dream and they follow that. But I think what's happened, right? I think what's happened is that sometimes we box ourselves into this idea of what we thought we wanted to do as a child, and you're fighting it. You're fighting it when there are things in your gut, inside your subconscious, inside within your spirit that are telling you, are you sure you really want to do this? Are you sure this is what you want? Are you sure you're not doing it because your parents wanted you to do it? Are you sure you're not doing this because that's what you thought you wanted before? And I want to give you all permission to give yourself that permission that it's okay if it's not linear. It's okay if that plan changes, because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, what you're really trying to find is not just purpose, but joy in that purpose.
Oh, that's a good one. Joy in that purpose. And that kind of aligns with what I was saying earlier. It's something that's already brewing. It's something that's inside you. It's something that's sparking. It's something that's exciting you, right? It is something that, because externally we find happiness and that might be short-lived, but internally we find joy. And that joy is there. It is already there. And it's like the embers are burning. It's, it's evolving. It's getting exciting. And so purpose is what guides you. It's that excitement that's guiding you. Now, I do have to say, and I'm going to take a step back here for a second, because what I will say is, I love what you said about you don't have to be linear. We can be non-linear in regards to developing that purpose. And it took me back to a time when I think I was about 5 or 6. And and I laugh because I think back at this time, and I remember going from telling my dad, I was like, I want to go to gymnastics. I want to be in tap dancing. I want to be in ballet. And they would get me these classes and then it'd be like, yeah, no, let's try Girl Scouts or let's try brownies, right? And he's like, you got to stick with something. So, but you'll know what it is when it excites you, when it's something that you want to learn more about. So those opportunities are those times where I was going from ballet to tap to jazz to gymnastics to whatever. Those were experiences that I needed to get to the place where I realized, like, aha, you know what I like about all of that when I put it together? New opportunity. I liked the opportunity to try something new, to produce something new. And that's why here we are as producers. We love producing content. We love producing things that are of value that might support other people. So purpose is definitely what guides your life decisions. It serves as the focal point to change your journey or better understand the path that you're on. Your purpose provides direction. It provides meaning and longevity, right? So why many folks may refer to the idiom find your purpose is more about process than actually finding what you're passionate about. And so what I mean is that you may not have put it all together yet. You may not have all those pieces or parts of the puzzle in your life together. Identifying the things that helped you create your direction, do that, identify those, and then harness your interests, bring those together, right? And it potentially could be about your skills. It could be about your hobbies. Those could be a passion. Jen, have you ever been, okay, let me ask you a question. You were a dancer. That was a passion. What did you do with that passion?
I practiced it in any way that I could, whether I was taking classes, I went to competitions, I even, I continued some classes even in college. And then even after I had graduated, years after, I found a dance studio and we would perform at weddings or whatever. So, there was always going to be some kind of change in the environment or the way that you live out that passion.
Yeah.
But if you can still find a way to practice it, and it can look different. It's because I think when you don't do that, there's going to be something inside you that dies. You're going to always be thinking about it. You're always going to be like, oh man, I missed that. And those are some indicators that you need to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you find your joy. What are those things that light you up?
Yeah.
Because you have to ask yourself, if you're doing something now that you can't get up and say like, oh yeah, I can't wait. Like we love creating, we love producing, we love doing that. And then there's things, the tasks, and some of them are things that are necessary, but at least we can recognize I don't really like doing this. I have to do this for now. And maybe later on I can delegate it or pay somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
But when you can get to that space where you're identifying what is it that lights you up and what are those things that you don't like, that's how you're going to be able to develop and continue to develop this passion and this purpose. Because I always try to find ways like, how can I stay in a creative space? That's the kind of stuff that lights me up. So I'm always looking for those, like you said, opportunities.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for those opportunities where I can place myself in a space that gives me the opportunity to practice that.
Absolutely. And I asked you about your dance because through that, you might have taken classes, you got together with people, you created a group, you went out and performed, you were producing. And so you gained all of these amazing skills as to how to produce, how to create dance steps, how to choreograph, how to, what's the word? What am I looking for? How to basically approach that and produce that and then put that on in front of people, right? Mm-hmm. So put on a show. And so now being a public speaker, you've taken those different skills, and it may not be called dancing, but let me tell you, I've seen pictures of Jen dancing on a stage essentially as she is giving a talk, because she is in her element and she's using the skill set that she's learned along her path and putting it into something else in a different way, but it's still some of the same skills.
Yeah. So, the skill sets are transferable too. But I think this is why I love and embrace the whole creativity part and giving yourself permission, because sometimes you may think like, oh, that's got nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. That's exactly why you need to go do it. Because it will allow you to make that decision of whether you need to explore and continue to go down that path, or prove it to yourself like, I'm not doing that again. Yeah. But until you give yourself that opportunity to experience that experience, you're not going to know. And I think one of the worst things that we can do to ourselves is have this wanting and this needing or this dream that's inside us that we never birth. And it's always better I look at it like it's always better to try it and figure out like, that totally blew up in my face. That didn't work, because there's always lessons. There's always going to be wisdom that you gain from it that allows you to move on to the next part of your life or the next step in your journey to realize like, okay, I tried that, didn't like that, but what did I like? Okay, what didn't I like? And why didn't I like it? Because you get and become wiser as these things happen to you. And then you take it to the next opportunity and you realize like, okay, I did love this part. And we talk about this with people we've worked with. We talk about these things that they realize, oh yeah, I did really like XYZ. Yeah. And then it's always like our answer is going to be like, well, then you need to do more of that. Yeah. Because if you're not experiencing joy and happiness and the things that light you up in your so-called purpose, you're not living in your purpose. You're just not. Exactly you're lying. You're lying to yourself because you're still hanging on to something that was telling you from the past, you're supposed to be doing this.
Oh, so true, Jen. And that we can go down that road of conditioning.
Yes.
On another video. And I'm sure we've talked about it, because you're so right. It triggers us sometimes to go back to that place, right? And sometimes this is a really scary process to follow that passion. And so, but yet, take the steps, because that passion actually will help you gain momentum. That passion, and even if you have a misstep, that's okay. That's wisdom. Those are some of your best teachers. So have some grace for yourself, because let me tell you, and Jen knows this too well, that all these big companies, they go through rebranding. They go through re-strategizing, right, Jen?
All the time.
All the time. We've seen Nike do it. We've seen KFC do it. We've seen lots of big companies do it. And so, quite frankly, it's okay. It's okay that you go through it too. But remember, there is passion. Passion isn't found. It's inside of you already. It's just waiting for you to call it out. It's just waiting for you to give it a name. It's just waiting for you to do something about it and to say, okay, I'm going to lean into this. and I'm going to be courageous, even though this seems a little scary, but it's there. It's already there. It's just a matter of you harnessing it and really just giving it a name and saying, you know what, this is incredible. This is what I've yearned for. And this is what I want to bring it to. And this is how I want to develop it. So the skills are there, the fire's sparking, and you just need to design it and translate it for yourself to get a better vision of it.
Love it. Love it. So if you liked this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up and comment in the comments below. Let us know, have you had an aha moment when it came to developing your purpose? What are some of the lessons that you learned along the way? Let us know. We'd love to hear about it. More importantly, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you can find out about other topics that we have coming up. Other than that, thanks for being here, and we'll catch you next time.
Take care.